What did you do?
I think I'm printing something. Hello.
Hello, everybody. It's us.
I'm trying to get on Facebook, and apparently I'm printing something.
You're printing Facebook?
I don't know when I'm printing, but my printer sounds like it's very busy. Happy Thursday.
We're back. I can't believe it's Thursday. I was just telling Kate. Wait, where's the extension cord, Alex?
I don't know.
I know where it is.
It's okay. I'll get it.
You don't know where it is.
Well, I could find it.
Quicker than me?
Definitely quicker than you.
Oh my gosh.
I have been packing since I last talked to you people. We're about to go out on our boat. Oh, nice of you to join us, JD. Hang on, let me get you on. Weird. Hello.
Hi, JD.
We're live.
Hello, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulty.
It's not technical difficulty if you make it within 10 minutes.
Okay.
Give it 10 minutes.
No, you're supposed to
Let's
be
see,
10 minutes early there, Christy. You got that wrong. You got it backwards.
I am not 10 minutes early to anything.
I know.
Hi, Karen. Karen's here.
JD, we have the rule at the master's house that you get 5 minutes per kid to be late, plus Mike. So it's 30 minutes.
My wife can tell you she gets 15 minutes for our 2 kids and then 5 for me.
Yeah.
Well, we're all here now. So welcome back, JD. This is our last in-person tasting with this chick before she heads out on the boat. And then she says she's going to be joining us from the boat, but we'll see about that. So I want to say happy birthday to Sam. I don't know if he's on here yet. So cheers to Sam. Happy birthday. And
Sam?
cheers. The Skittles and the light bodies.
Ooh, they have 6 people tonight.
6 tonight. Awesome.
I don't know if that's enough wine, Steve. 5 bottles.
6 people, 5 bottles. All right. So, JB, you wanna? I think we should just go ahead and hear about some wine.
All right, we can do that. I just didn't want to, I know we always wait for some responses on the comments just to make sure people are on and people are going through. Since I had the problem, I wanted to make sure that there you go. I was starting to get.
I think we've got a few people tonight that are gonna have to watch it afterwards. So
Okay.
we may have a little less interaction. So
I'm one of those people.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to rewatch it just to make sure I knew exactly what was going
that's the great thing though about this is you can, if you aren't available at 5:30, you can still get your wine and watch it later. So cheers to those people who are out watching it later. And we'll
Absolutely, because you know what's funny is I've actually watched Brandon and Natasha and Barry do them a couple times. It's fun. So, just to get little tidbits here and there of their stylistic wise. So,
Well, we know who the fan favorite is.
I know. Unfortunately, you have me, but it's not Brandon tonight.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say names.
You're mixing up wine guys there, Alex. Kidding.
Are you meaning the OG? Okay. All right. We'll stop. I'll get straight into the wines.
Let's talk about wine.
So we're gonna start with our wine for the night is Coelho Chardonnay, Chardonnay out of Oregon, out of Willamette. I want to kind of give a personal story on this one because when I was in Oregon, it was so awesome to be able to meet with a bunch of different winemakers. They actually had a kind of meeting of like a round table of winemakers in Oregon. And they were very adamant about the fact that Oregon is perfect for Chardonnay. They were, seriously stressing the fact that, I don't know if you've ever heard the verbiage in California, winemakers make Sauvignon Blanc because it's called the banker's wine. A lot of times in Oregon, they do that with Pinot Gris because that pays the bills. They make great Pinot Gris. It's fantastic. Not saying anything against it, but they wanted to make wine that has got this beautiful, wonderful texture and has a actual backbone and structure in one of the noble varietals, if you will, of wine. So Coelho is actually Portuguese for rabbit or bunny, literal translation from the family's name. And this is a Chardonnay that has got a beautiful expression of fruit, kind of like that Granny Smith apple type of thing going on at the beginning of the wine. Very, very supple and juicy, but not going to be one of those wines that is over oaked or over malolactic fermentation or over buttered. They want you to be able to taste the actual Chardonnay. A lot of times with Chardonnay, they really over manipulate it to where you don't really get to taste the grape. I like Coelho for that reason because it is a natural expression of Chardonnay. Chardonnay can get so overdone and manipulated that you don't actually get to taste the grape. I like this one from Willamette. Willamette, damn it, it is actually the beautiful expression of a Chardonnay that is not. It does see oak. It's 6 months in neutral oak. Neutral oak just being they wanted to be able to age in that without being able to impart a bunch of flavor to it. And it is actually, if you've never heard of it, it's called acacia oak. Acacia oak is actually oak that is atypically from Canada, and they're using the things that are around them. There's basically really 4 types of oak that most people know, acacias being the newest, Slovenian being the third, American, and French. The reason they went with acacia oak is because of that reason. Acacia oak actually gives the Chardonnay a little bit of spice or a little bit of texture to the wine without imparting that huge flavor of wood to it. We wanted something that was going to have a good balance. It was funny when I tasted this. I was actually really surprised. I was actually blinded on this wine at first, and I really couldn't pinpoint an area. And I actually started to go kind of Burgundian. And that is definitely the style. It's definitely more towards Burgundian style that you don't see often out of these areas as of right now because of the acacia oak is something that is brand new to that area. Okay. I love the fact that it says I taste a little grapefruit. That's actually very, very apropos. You're going to get more citrus tones on this. It's showing you the tropical notes of the Chardonnay.
I want to jump in for a second and tell everyone I made a mistake on the pairing sheet. So on this one, I didn't make a mistake. It is the goat cheese that I paired with this, but it is supposed to be topped with the honey. So everyone should have a honeycomb. Yeah. So use one of those knives over there. Get the honey out. So
This one?
yeah. So it's just the round, plain looking goat cheese, but I wanted you to put a little bit of honey on top, and that's going to be the pairing for this one. I didn't say that on the sheet.
JD, I was going to ask you with your typical like California Chardonnay, is that those are usually aged in American oak? Is that right?
Well, they go back and forth. Atypically, what a rule of thumb is they're going to be French oak because of what they want to impart. And the trick on it is depending on how much malolactic fermentation that they go through. Malolactic fermentation is taking acetic acid and turning it into malolactic acid. So meaning they want to take what you're tasting in this wine of those beautiful acids and those fruit components, and they want to turn them into kind of buttery components. And that's what you do with malolactic. Atypically with malolactic fermentation, you're going to see more French oak because it imparts the right balance to it, but you will see a combination of American and French oak there. The trick about that is it's all about the winemaker's preference and what they're trying to get as an end result. French oak atypically gives you And people always vary on this. American oak gives you spice and a little bit of vanilla, and then French oak gives you this kind of beautiful richness and kind of opulent mouthfeel to it, even for white wines. So I think, me personally, I actually like the way that this wine is set up because I want to see the acid. I want to see that. I want to see the balance of actual Chardonnay. I want to see the fact that, you know, the winemaker, you know, did the work in the field instead of in the winery. I want him to. I want it to be an expression of the terroir. Willamette is really good for expression of terroir. You're going to get a little bit back on the back end of this, a little bit of minerality, and because of where this is grown in the Coelho vineyards, it is actually westward facing, okay, but it actually has this beautiful, cool expansion that they get that kind of wind off the ocean that you get if you've ever been out on the West Coast at night. You get that beautiful wind that blows over, and it's just really, really chilly. We've talked about diurnal temperatures with different wineries before, and this is a good expression. This is not something that's going to have such a huge change of temperature, but at the same time, it has a good expression of why it is important to have that. You know what I mean? It's not something that is from, like we were talking about Washington before, from 90 degrees to, you know, 50 degrees, but this is something that's going to have a good balance overall.
Yeah, and that's well put. And I think that's in part, you know, because in contrast to the Washington wines we usually drink, you're talking about you're on the other side. A lot of those are on the other side of the Cascades, less moisture in there, so it's not holding those. I mean, temperatures like it does a little more so in the Willamette Valley, where you got some marine influence and the river and a little greener. So yeah, that makes sense.
This wine is this is the lightest Chardonnay that I think I've ever had, and not in the way that like a steel barrel would. I mean, like you said, like you taste more of the Chardonnay, but it doesn't have that.
What?
Of the, I don't know. It's really interesting. I like it a lot.
I actually want to talk about that real quickly. Is a lot of times what people think of Chardonnay is they think of, and I think all of y'all there have heard me say the saying 84 lumber and Land O'Lakes didn't make it, meaning it's not a butter bomb. It's not, you know, a 2x4 in a wine glass. I like this one because even those aside, it's not, sometimes if you don't get those two, you get this real tinny feel. You taste that stainless steel to the wine. And this is done in stainless, but because of the way they use with that acacia oak, it really takes away that stinny or that tinny taste, which I think is just absolutely phenomenal. I actually did, I apologize, but I want to drop something. I did this upper echelon wine that's like $60 a bottle. I did it at a wine dinner last night. It was the first wine that sold out, and it was back ordered for about 5 cases. The thing about it is this wine is absolutely kind of completely different than anything that's out there on the market. That's why I really, really love Coelho. Coelho, their Pinots are fantastic. Their Chardonnays are really blowing my mind lately. So
yeah, good stuff. Good choice.
Excellent. Love it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let me look over. I'm just trying to see the change of taste.
I have to say the pairing is on point.
I want to
goat
taste
cheese
that,
and the honey.
I'm
So
gonna have to taste.
I mean, it just balances out. This wine is a little too acidic for me. I tend to shy away from like too much grapefruit, but it's really good. I wouldn't have guessed this was a Chardonnay.
No, I don't know. I don't think I would have either.
Yeah, like if you did this on a blind tasting, we would all be like,
What?
"What?"
Ooh, mental note.
And that's what I'm saying is because it's not a bad thing for it to be something different than what is atypical. I like that, and I think that's why Kate and I really like this wine is because it was kind of like drop you on your head, something that was off the beaten path of what people think about it, and it's got this beautiful gripping acidity, kind of like, and I don't want to like really pair it like a Sauvignon Blanc, but what most people would think is more towards a Sauvignon Blanc. I could see somebody thinking this is a California SB, personally.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Sorry, I was reading notes as I'm trying to do. All right. Any questions over this one?
Oh, I didn't show everybody the bottle.
Coelho.
Yeah,
When I show that to you, you'll see it's the bunny. That's Coelho. It's the family name for bunny or rabbit in Portuguese.
there it is. Yeah, that's great. I've tried and loved their Pinot Noir, so that's a good one to introduce us to.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm glad you like it. This literally got here last week. First time it's ever been in the state of Florida.
Hey, JD, before you say anything, my parents, I saw this wine. This is hilarious. My parents live on Fulkerson Road.
Really?
Yeah.
In Zanesville, Ohio.
OH?
Where in Ohio?
Zanesville.
Bainesville, babe. You know where Bainesville is?
No. Z is in zebra.
Zanesville.
It's country.
East of Columbus.
All right. She's from Cincinnati, so.
Oh, wow.
Fancy.
Too fancy for us.
We're gonna go there. All right. Sorry, I have my own little charcuterie board over here as well. So the first red that we're going to do tonight is Fulkerson. Fulkerson is actually a Cabernet Franc. Cab Franc out of Seneca Lake, New York. And I always want to, when you talk about New York wines, everyone's like, oh, they make quality wines out of New York. They absolutely do. You have French winemakers that are coming over and making wines out of the Great Lakes, Seneca Lake, Finger Lakes area. And, you know, the Finger Lakes really started with kind of more of the sweet wine persona. And then they started to figure out which grapes are going to actually work really well for them there. I mean, Riesling, obviously, because it is a cold climate grape, works real well. Pinot Gris does actually really well up there. Even some lighter shards. But when they started to look at red wines, they thought Pinot Noir would be good because Pinot Noir likes, you know, temperate climate like that. Just didn't work out well. They went with Cabernet Franc and they figured out that you could have this beautiful textural style of Cab Franc that actually has such a great expression. And Cab Franc is one of those things, it actually really takes on the environment extremely, extremely well. You can grow it in hot climate like they do in, you know, North Coast or Paso Robles, Napa Valley, but I actually really like the expression that you get out of Seneca Lake. So Fulkerson makes this wine in a way that you get this beautiful, soft, almost Pinot Noir texture, but you get the flavors of Cab Franc. So it is a light kind of, I don't want to call it an introducing red or introductory red for a lot of people, but I think that this is the wine that actually really carries a lot of people that are trying to get into red wines. Fulkerson is really, really good and meticulous on their wines. They want to make sure that they really, really show the quality of an expression of the terroir. This is Seneca Lake. If you're ever familiar with the geography and in the Finger Lakes, you know this is going to have some beautiful arid influence, and it has got that cool, really, really gentle kind of graphite feel to this wine. Are y'all trying it right now? I'm about to try a little bit.
Yeah, everything you said.
Yeah, no, I like it's interesting because it is very light and smooth, but then it's got a bite, you know, like a little spice on the backside, which makes it more interesting, I think. So yeah.
Well, absolutely. I like wines that have the first Finger Lake wine for me. Okay, Steve. Sorry, I tried to read at the same time. But yeah, absolutely. I think that's what makes a wine interesting. To me, a wine is really interesting when you smell it and you go, okay, this is what I think I'm going to get. And then you taste it and you go, well, that's not quite what I thought. And then all of a sudden the finish comes and you're like, that's definitely not what I thought. This is that wine to me. I actually told that to Kate when we were tasting it. And I was like, look, this is going to surprise you. And she was like, I like New York wine now.
I know.
Literal verbiage.
Yeah.
Because
like,
everybody's hesitant.
I like a New York wine that's not, a Riesling or an ice wine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what's fun is, like I said, I mean, and this is going a little bit off topic, but up in that Northeast, you have some great producers of wine that are really starting to figure out what grows well where they're at. Everyone always tried to do the same thing that they ever thought. In the basis is the latitudinal lines in the distance you are away from the equator, and it doesn't actually work that well all the way across the board.
Right.
Like, oh, we should be able to grow Pinot. No, Pinot does not work well there.
Yeah, there's elevation and lake effect, and like all those kind of come into play.
See, you know what? We're gonna have Alex teach a class, man. That's perfect. That's exactly right. That lake effect that you get is exactly what you're talking about, my friend.
He is very
The student has become the teacher. I like it. No, but I mean, it really does. It really does change the influence. So when you get this Cab Franc that is atypically from California, and it's most of the time a blend of Sonoma and Napa, you get a lot of North Coast AVAs on it. And it gets this it's so pencil-y. It is so kind of esoteric and green pepper. What I like about this style is that green pepper to me is really, really, really back-noted instead of being front-noted. You get that pencil lead. It's beautiful. It's soft. It's approachable. You do get that little bit of graphite to it, but at the same time, it's just absolutely elegant and easy to drink. But it will hold up. What's funny is the wine feels very light, but when you try it with food, it really holds up to a lot more than you would think it would.
well.
I can see that with the Cab Franc.
So good segue there to the cheese.
Here, Alex.
So the cheese is the Mediterranean Gouda. I like that spice with all of the herbs and the dried tomatoes, all of the things that come in the Mediterranean Gouda. So I think that would pair nicely.
No, it's like a full meal. Like the wine holds up really nice. It's a really nice pairing.
Well, that's what you're trying to do, is try to really give people wine that, you can drink by itself, but at the same time, sorry, I'm trying to keep my dog away from my charcuterie board. My chocolate lab is like, man, that looks good. Let me have some. Get back. Go lay down.
Yeah.
Hey,
So JD,
Sorry.
one of the things that I hear about U.S. wines, particularly not so much Californians anymore, but one of the things you always hear is, oh, I can't drink that because the sulfites are too, I get a headache or whatever. And what do you say to that? What's your
There's two different ways that I handle this. Okay, I love it when somebody says I'm allergic to sulfites. I can only drink wine from this region.
right?
And I look at them and I go, it's impossible to have a sulfite-free wine because there's sulfites in the skins. I don't care how much skin contact it gets, it's definitely going to hit the skin, and you're going to have sulfites in a wine. And I get that. It's absolutely true. Now, more towards your comment of it's about people go, oh, well, I like organic wines. Organic wines does not mean they don't have sulfites. It really doesn't. Sulfite is one of those things, and it's not atypically sulfites that normally give people that bad feel or that hangover feel, or I feel really groggy the next day, or it really upsets my stomach, or it gives me a headache. A lot of times, what that is some of the wines that I want to say are more massively produced. They put what they call Mega Purple. You ever heard of Mega Purple?
No.
Mega Purple is a basic chemistry concoction. And they're about to cut the feed on this right now as soon as I start talking about it. Mega Purple is part of the wine industry that, is frowned upon from artisanal winemakers. Okay, mass-produced stuff that is made thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and millions of cases. There's just not that much grape out there. It really isn't. So this is something that actually stretches it, and it manipulates some of the grapes and the grape flavors that you get. Mega Purple is kind of the wine maker's secret. And I say winemakers, it's not out there as much as you would think, but a lot of the big names and stuff that you can find almost anywhere, definitely use it. I'm not gonna use any names.
Oh God, yeah.
What Flamomi? I mean,
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Well, thank you for that. Like that's always been like, my mom is like super sensitive to wine, and I'm like, I think it's just because you got to drink better wine.
Okay, just think about it this way. I mean, has anybody ever been, you went out and you drank Mai Tais all day? All right, Mai Tais, funny joke, because it was just my anniversary, and I actually had a Mai Tai, and it was disgusting. Huh?
Had their anniversary.
Just had
and he had a Mai Tai.
Oh.
So if you drink something that has all these different components in it and all these different sugars, and the sugars is really what Mega Purple is about. It's about making something sweeter. It's about making something more palatable without having the quality that you normally would have. It makes it really, really difficult for the body to actually digest it. It's the same thing as new sugars to artificial sugars. If you've read the studies about, that the body can't even recognize artificial sugars. So there's a lot to do with it. And I'm not a complete organic guy. I'm not that guy at all. But I think that there are certain things that, I pick my battles with, and wine is my number one.
Yeah, I think
So we just skipped to number 3.
Sure.
I don't know if everybody else is with us, but I just took my first smell of it. It smells like buttered popcorn. Do you smell that?
I get
Guidi?
that, but yeah, I don't want to. So I'm gonna go.
Oh, I'm like, ooh, yeah.
Like, I'm always ears for a new take on what something smells or tastes like, but
Yeah.
never buttered popcorn.
I can get why you can smell that, but that is not a smell that I love. And
Oh.
so
It's an aphrodisiac, isn't it?
buttered popcorn?
Yeah, like
No.
oyster.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. Only,
I thought buttered popcorn was that thing that you have to fall asleep at.
No.
That's
I'm
right,
telling
Cindy.
you. Oh my gosh, this makes
No.
the juices start flowing. I'm like, yeah, buttered popcorn.
Oh my
Call
God.
her husband, say she's on the way.
You're gonna miss me.
All right, so I'm going to talk about the wine. So Guidi is the producer here. Guidi is a producer that is really known for Chianti producing, in all honesty. Tuscany, this is one of their productions that they do out of southeast Tuscany, which is Morellino di Scansano. Morellino di Scansano is actually Sangiovese. So, it is the mother or the father grape, however you want to say it, of Italy. And what they do is a completely different thought process behind it. Sangiovese, everyone knows Sangiovese is Brunello. It's Chianti. It's Chianti Classico, Chianti Classico Reserva. I've had this discussion with people many times in a tasting. Thank you, Alex. About what is actually in the bottle. And you know what? There are so many misnomenclatures about Chianti and about the flavors and about the style and about the quality. So this is when Sangiovese or Chianti has been in a little bit of a southern region, and it shows completely different. This gets a combination of 12 months in oak and new oak, and then a combination of 6 months in neutral oak. Why they do that way? They want the oak to impart some beautiful richness to this wine, which I definitely on this wine, I get lots of cherries. And I want to go that this is definitely more towards like Rainier or black cherry than that red cherry style. Because I feel like it's a little bit darker. I feel like it's got some definitely that wood influence. I don't get the vanilla off this that you get off of some Chiantis a lot of times, but I get the beautiful gripping acidity. One of my favorite parts about this wine is it's got this wonderful richness to it with that acidity, and then a balance with that wood component in the back of it, end of it. Absolutely fun. This one that is perfect for anything Parmesan. I mean, people love, always ask for food pairings, so I always try to throw a couple out there for you. Bolognese, Parmesan, anything Parmesan, chicken, veal. I have people that tell me that they do shrimp Parmesan. I don't know that that's necessarily something that I would go with here, but anything that's got that, even a Marsala style on this, something that's got a little bit of weight to it. I consider this kind of that medium-bodied Sangiovese style that is really, really eccentric and off the beaten path from what most people know. I was trying to disarm people from the fact that going, okay, what is Morellino? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I go to people that are wine buyers from day to day. They taste hundreds of wine a day, and they go, oh, what grape is Morellino? And that's why I always start with the fact that it is Sangiovese. And try to disarm you to understand that it's a wine or a grape that you've literally had before, but it's a different kind of a style to it. And I want people to actually really know that. Yeah, Kate.
Because she smells buttered popcorn. I smell like woods, like Northwest woods, like kind of evergreen kind of. And Steve says they smell beef roast. What do you smell? We all smell something different.
I can't smell anything.
I would go more towards the beef roast in the pine woods. I don't know buttered popcorn over here. I don't know.
No, but I always have the most interesting, if I remember the one wine Band-Aids. Remember that? I know, but it was.
She's gonna ride that Band-Aid till the day she dies, man. I tell you this, she'll be like Band-Aid.
But I can't not smell the buttered popcorn. But beef roast, do you guys have one cooking in the oven, Steve? I don't smell beef roast.
I'm getting paper towels.
I'm getting the hand sanitizer I just used. No, I mean. I try to encompass what everybody smells. I really do. I really do. I don't get butter popcorn. I'm sorry, Christy.
But I will say this is a really nice red.
Do you like the texture of it? What's the pairing that you did?
Oh, so interesting pairing, I gotta say. The pairing is Le Bon Vie fig and olive goat cheese. So,
Alex,
I wasn't sure about the goat cheese. Yeah, so it is another round little disc on there, but it's got a little kind of, I don't know, it's not pure white. If you have I think everyone has the charcuterie today. So it's a little darker color on the goat cheese, but.
Wait, have we had this before?
No, this is new, fig and olive.
You said we were going to have some new
I know,
cheese.
and the other new ones, they were out. So anyway, that's the story of my life.
Hold on. Let me see if it's good, people.
Let's all look at Christy and ask her if it's good.
Steve said if you smell popcorn, take your mask off.
Dude, I love my buddy Steve, man. Steve's always on point.
That cheese is amazing.
That's good, isn't it?
That's really good.
So good. Just so you know, I'm actually probably can't see it, but these are truffled cashews.
Oh,
I am addicted. My wife laughs at me because I come home every Thursday when I go down to Vero Beach. I have a place down there that actually does them, and they're not like the fake truffles. Amazing, and it really goes really well with this wine. So if you have any kind of truffle cheese, I think
on the charcuterie there is a truffle salami. So it's the one that is kind of thicker cut, smaller. Yeah, that's a truffle salami.
Oh, that's good.
So try that.
Peel this stuff off.
Oh, there's stuff on it. Hold on.
Peel the wrapper off.
Peel the wrapper up,
You need it. It won't kill you.
You dummy.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Karen Holy monkeys.
I had 2 of those already. That was good.
Is that a holy monkeys I just heard?
That's salami.
With the truffles.
Yeah, it's good.
Holy.
Yeah, truffles with this, with the wine, it really is. It really does change the wine.
Mm. Good call.
Smarter than I look, thank God. All right. Any questions on this wine, guys?
I like this one.
All right. Beautiful.
Yeah, I like this one.
Morellino di Scansano.
It's some butter. It's butterscotch on the finish.
Popcorn. Butter. Popcorn.
Uh-oh.
Alex was trying to be the peace treaty there, and he was just like, I'm not going to. So, all right. Well, so we're going to go on to the next one. The next one we did was the Super Tuscan. Super Tuscan is always about Tuscany wines that are a blend of Sangiovese and Bordelais varietals. This is kind of trickier now, or from now, actually, as of 2 weeks ago, moving into the future. Bordelais varietals was always known as Cab Franc, Cab Sauv, Petit Verdot, Merlot, and Malbec. In Tuscany, they added Syrah to Bordelais varietals. Now, as of 2 weeks ago, they've added, thank you, Prunicce. They've actually added about 5 new wines that they're allowed to put in Bordeaux. None of us have ever heard of them. I've heard of 3 of them out of the 5, and I've been doing this for almost 15 years. And nobody's ever heard of the other varietals. And it's just one of those things that they're trying to do to try to help out Bordeaux. Now, Prunicce is from Pakravan. Pakravan is a small little winery out of Tuscany, and this is actually Sangiovese, Cab, and Cab Franc. We've had Cab Franc earlier today. We just had Sangiovese. So take the 2 wines that you had before this and put them into this. Does it make the same wine? No. What's the difference? The difference is terroir. Terroir here is, and this is definitely has a sense of the terroir that it comes from in Tuscany. A little bit more northern territory than the Morellino di Scansano. The Sangiovese is actually eastern facing. And people always ask me, what does that mean? In Tuscany, eastern facing means it's going to get a longer sun hit. What that means is it gets this kind of juicieress to the Sangiovese. The Cabernet and Cabernet Franc are western facing. Doing the same thing on the opposite side, you're going to get less sun. But it makes the grape have this kind of intensity to it that you really don't get in almost any other region of the world, in all honesty. So blending these 2 things together, they brought together this beautiful textural wine that is, it starts out with this kind of beautiful freshness, and all of a sudden, about a half a second into it, you're just like, oh my God, what? And it evolves all the way through the palate. As soon as it hits the back palate, it's completely different than when it hits your than when it hit your tongue. This is, if you can't tell, this is one of my favorite wines. I love this Super Tuscan. It does wonderful things for food. What did you, before I go on, what did you pair it with? I just wanted to know.
Vino Cabra goat cheese that's infused with red wine. So it's a little harder goat cheese with the red wine veins. Yeah,
this goes real well with a little bit harder, denser cheeses, even Piave, something like that goes really well. I'm a big fan of this wine, and actually with, some kind of moderate steak. Now, I would not do this with a big porterhouse or ribeye, but, some sirloin, something like that, something off the grill. I really, really love this one because it has that great grippiness to it that really grabs the palate, that changes the palate immensely in comparison to a lot of Super Tuscans. Some Super Tuscans can be a little I want to say flaccid. I think, they all of a sudden they have this huge beginning and then there's no mid palate to them. I like Prunicce because it's a big wine all the way throughout, and it's not overdone in any aspect, and it's not over enveloped. And for the price point, I think that this is one of the best wines out there for the money that you could possibly do, because it really engulfs the thought process of what a Super Tuscan or a Tuscan red blend is supposed to be.
What's that price?
I can't see it.
It's $24.
$24. But
yeah, can't beat that.
So
I don't know. Alex asked, and she was like, "I don't know." He goes, $24.
What you were saying about the Sangiovese facing east and the Cab Franc and Cabernet, was it? Facing west.
Cab Franc and Cabernet facing west, yes.
So, and you were saying in that region, that's the only place that happens. But so, is that for all of the wines in that region, or is this just for this winery?
Each winery can do what they really want. And the trick about it is have you ever heard the saying, test it and see what happens? That's what they do. They want to see if they test it and they go, okay, we're going to take this partial. The winemakers around the world are the biggest gamblers you've ever seen in your life. And I'll tell you why. They take and they plant it and they go, okay, we're just going to try this. Let's see if we think that it can do this. In theory, this should work very well. And then they try it and they go, damn, that's not good. And then all of a sudden they go, okay, well, let's try this partial. And then they have an aha moment. So what it is each way is a little bit different. Geography is different in every region. I mean, from 1 mile to like 4 miles down the road, it's different. And Pakravan Papi in the Prunicce, this is what they found has worked the best for them. And I think it's funny because, you know what, no matter what you do, somebody always tells you, okay, it'll be better this way. It'll be better this way. I know what you should do. And especially in Napa Valley, everybody's got an opinion and most of them are wrong. So I just think it's fun. I hope that answers what you're asking. It's just for this region. It's just.
I was unclear as if you meant like everyone in that region has all their Sangiovese.
Not at all. Because that region is very strange, and you have a lot of north-south vineyards in there, and it would make it real hard for them to go east-west.
Yeah. Hey, Steve has a question, and he said, "What is a Super Tuscan not?" Let me put on my glasses.
A DOCG wine. What does that mean?
What is a Super Tuscan? Okay.
Ratings.
Oh, the ratings.
Okay.
Oh.
Let me explain something about DOCG.
Every time. I don't pay attention much.
Okay, so in Italy, there's a lot of different designations. The 3 biggest that most people know is called IGT, DOC, DOCG. IGT, Geographica Tipica, denomination of Originale Controle, and then DOCG, denomination of Original Controle Garantita. So what they do is it's about specifics. It's about knowing if – I was trying to see if I had something right here. It's about knowing site specificity. How do I explain this? I can answer this question easy. Why? Okay, so people can call wine Super Tuscan, Steve, and it's about a style, because they can call it a Super Tuscan because there is no actual rules to what you can call Super Tuscan. Okay, to a wine aficionado or somebody that knows wine from Tuscany, that has A, Sangiovese, and B, Bordelaise varietals, including Syrah, in this case, are Super Tuscan wines. Banditone is one, Bulgari, you're going to have Sassicaia, Ornellaia are the two of the biggest ones out there. But the trick about it is why they call it that. They're trying to piggyback on the thought process. Now, I can have a Sangiovese with Cab and Cab Franc from Puglia, completely opposite coast, and call it a Super Tuscan style, but it's still not a Super Tuscan. Unless it has those varietals. I've heard people try to tell me a Montepulciano with Cab blend is a Super Tuscan. And technically, by nature, it's not. Stylistically wise, it can be. Flavor wise, it can be. But like when you call a Super Tuscan, it actually means Sangiovese and Bordelaise varietals. Those 5 that I told you about. And I mean, if you want to get technical, Carmenere, but Carmenere does not ever get used in that region.
But so he meant to say why. So why isn't it DOCG? What makes it DOCG? That's the region or what?
Region of a denomination of control garantita. It's telling you that has to be grown in this certain region. So why is it not in a Super Tuscan? Because look, there's so many regions in Tuscany, right? You have Chianti Classico, Chianti Classico Reserva. You have Montalcino. I mean, all these regions in Tuscany. So a Super Tuscan can come from any of those regions. They're trying to showcase Sangiovese as the predominant grape, but use those Bordelaise varietals that I'm talking about. But they're not going to do a DOCG yet. I think that you're going to see that happen, Steve. It's probably going to be within the next 5 years because you're seeing so many things like I just said about Puglia. You're seeing that happen a lot more often. And people are trying to piggyback on the Tuscany region. And that was the whole point of putting DOCGs on a wine. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to remember that.
Christy's like, I got something from today. So, all right, beautiful.
I remember Band-Aids and buttered popcorn.
I know, right? And honestly, when I first smelled this one, I was thinking salted caramel and peach cobbler. I don't know.
Peach
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what you smell. Did you get salty peaches?
Caramel, like a salted caramel. That's what I was in, like a buttery, like.
I am with you on that one. I can go with you on that one.
See, I'm not crazy.
We have not established that, Christy. What we've established is Kate agrees with you on this one.
So wait, did you like that wine?
I did.
Wow.
Christy
is 3 for 3 on the wines.
I am.
All right, that's good. That's good, JD.
Line squirrel every once in a while.
Paso Robles?
Paso Robles.
All right, that's good.
Are we back in
California?
California knows how to party.
All right. So, never had wine out of.
You want to know what I smell? Hold on.
Hold on.
Yes, just tell me.
Let's hear it.
You guys, on this last one, make sure you notice that the pairing has a cracker, the jam, and the cheese. So do that when you pair it. All right, Christy, what do you got?
Tell us what you smell.
Oh, this is very fruit forward. So I'm smelling like
You smell fruit?
I smell fruit this time.
Wow. That's so traditional.
I need more, Christy. What fruit? Is it red? Is it blue? Is it black? Is it tree fruit? Is it stone fruit?
I smell cherries. It's red. They're red.
So the
I'm
Rainier
sorry. Hey, look, this is what I always got. I always used to get.
I smell like a fresh fruit. I smell
Fresh cherries? All right.
The Rainier cherry thing always reminds me of this
And
little fruit
pencils,
stand that we used to go to in Portland, right next to Reed College. That had
Absolutely.
the best Rainier cherries. Like
Great
when they were-
Northwest. Great Northwest is where I always think of Rainier cherries. Absolutely. I
You know
agree
what?
with you 100%, Alex.
I smell red cherries and pencils, but pencils to me is a good flavor. That means like a wood. There's a wood element to it. Like when I open new pencils, like
Do you sniff the new pencil?
hell yes! Oh my god! I have a drawer in my house, and I'm like, pencils.
You're like Hayes when he goes in our garage. He's like, it smells so good in here.
It's like me when I go to get gasoline and I'm like, I'm one of those. I am one of those weird people that like the smell of gasoline. So.
And glue and markers and all that stuff.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Let's get back to the wine. So we have Marivelle. Marivelle, Proulx. Proulx. Everyone always asks me how to say this. P-R-U. Turn the bottle around. It will tell you on its own.
Oh, yeah.
P-R-O-U-L-X. There you go. Thank you, Alex. Proulx. This is Paso Robles. Paso Robles at its best. Kevin Riley is the winemaker here. Kind of a friend of our company to a beautiful relationship that we have with him. He makes a couple wines. If you have ever had the Blackburn, he's the winemaker on that as well. Blackburn Cab from Paso is his as well. He makes this Zinfandel that's got this wonderful kind of like brown sugar, vanilla, and plus oak on the nose. Absolutely, Karen. But Steve goes boom. JD always finishes with a great choice. We wanted a Zin that is going to hold up to just about anything. This is one of those Zins that actually has backbone. A lot of Zins, when you get them, they have this supercilious style of just almost like I need a shot of insulin after it. I want old school style Zin. That's what we wanted here. That's what we got here. Proulx or Kevin makes this wine in a way that actually has a balance all the way throughout. You definitely get that beautiful Zinfandel fruit up front and juiciness and ripeness. That ripe fruit is right on the palate, and then the back end of that just kind of just rounds itself off because it is definitely oak influenced and showing you the way that you can actually influence a wine like this with that beautiful fruit and let it be done naturally. Christy, none of that purple drink. Okay?
Mega purple. See?
Mega purple. That's my girl. That's it right there. Mega purple.
JD.
I think he was talking about the Houston purple drink.
Oh, okay. Drank.
No. That mega purple. Absolutely. I was so proud. Alex, I'm sorry. I had to gloat in that a little bit. But the mega purple, it is not that. It is definitely that soft, kind of rich and ripeness on the finish that I really, really love out of well-made Zinfandel. Everyone always told me when I got in the wine business for years and years, Zinfandel, oh, you can't really like Zinfandel and be a wine person. I do. I love it. I think it's fantastic when you have a good Zinfandel. And
from all the moms in all the land in the 80s drinking white Zinfandel Sutter home out of the, fridge with all their friends. That's why nobody's drinking white Zinfandel.
Well, absolutely. White Zinfandel and Zinfandel are completely two different things. But even people are saying this about red.
Oh, really? This is
Absolutely. Obviously, white Zinfandel. I'll be honest. Go ahead, Kate. I saw you raising your hand.
I want to say that this is the only wine that I didn't get to try for today. And when we were trying to make it work with a thoughtful lineup of wines, and he didn't have this on him, and he was like, I think we should do the Zinfandel. And I was like, oh, I'm like, we haven't had a ton of Zinfandels in here, and for me, Zinfandels are difficult because I did used to like them a lot, probably 20 years ago, or 15 years ago or something. But now they're so berry, like there's so much berry. It just, I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's enough going on. So I was a little hesitant, and I looked at JD because I like to give him a hard time, and I'm like,
He does.
"Am I gonna like it? are you just trying to put something in there, or am I gonna like it?"
No.
And he was like, "You're gonna like it." So
Trust
you're
me,
right.
JD.
You're
Trust
right.
me,
This
JD.
is excellent. I love it, JD. So thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And JD, we trust. No, I'm just joking. No, the fact of the matter is look, you know what? Don't thank me. Thank Kevin Riley. Kevin Riley's the winemaker here. He made a really, really beautiful expression of a Zinfandel. I like it. There are a lot of Zinfandels, and exactly what you're talking about, Kate, that are really, really overzealous with the fruit, and they just, I mean, I've actually been blinded on wines that, like, I was like, I know this is Zinfandel, but it almost tastes like it should be a dessert wine, and I need a shot of insulin afterwards.
Yeah.
We don't want that. We wanted something that's going to be beautiful fruit component, nice balance all the way throughout. And yeah, I do remember that conversation, Kate. And and I was like, I promise, I won't let you down. I promise.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you agree. But this is one of those wines. To me, this is the perfect barbecue wine. We're coming in from spring to summer, or as I call it in Florida, hot to hotter. I think that this is that wine that is great with anything off of a grill. Anything off of a grill. Pork chops, steak, burgers. Anything that you don't have to be overzealous with, the expense of what you're putting on the grill. But everything off a grill goes really well with a Zinfandel of this style. I don't think it always goes well with any Zin, but I think this one is perfect for it. I mean,
yeah, I'm with you there.
So JD, I want to tell you what this pairing is, and everyone else. So the wafer cracker with the fig and cocoa jam on top, and then a little bit of Matica Sardo, which looks like Parmesan chopped up on your plate. Put that on top of the jam. And the Matica Sardo is a Sardinian pecorino cheese.
Pecorino.
So on top of the fig and cocoa,
That is
spread.
stupid good.
wow.
So good.
That is so good. Big and that's new.
I'm very mad that I did not get that pairing.
That fig and cocoa jam with that cheese.
Well, yeah, and it's similar. I mean, going back to your barbecue, think about like some ribs with the, sweet and spicy sauce.
Ribs. I'm telling you, eating pork chops, I've done this. I mean, I promise you, I have people that will testify to it. A pork chop off the grill with this, with a slight, little, even if you do an Asian glaze or something like that, it's fantastic. It really is. And the Zinfandel really holds up to it, because if you put a cab with it, you're not going to taste a lot of the things in the food. Right. And I have, atypically, when I go to grilling, I go Malbec, and I do a Malbec that is not super big, or a Zinfandel, especially of this style.
So Steve says to make sure I have a case of this weekend, because he's coming to pick it up.
Oh, good.
It's so good, JD.
We can make that happen.
Okay, I'm shocked. I thought we were gonna.
You like your red Zin? See, look. Everyone,
I thought you were gonna get to the Zin. It was gonna be super heavy.
Well, that's because that's your anticipation of number 5 every single week.
Every single time.
And last week you liked number 5 too.
I did.
And your husband was like, "What's happening
What
to
is
you?"
wrong with you?
That's the point. I mean, look, to me, and I think I'm tipping my hat here a little bit, but I think that number 5 wine should always be something that's a little bit of a surprise. Something that it goes against what most people think about. And I like that about number 1 and number 5. I think that,
Yeah, you did a good job of that tonight with these.
Well, we try.
Yeah.
I started reading over here, and I'm trying to cheese and jam.
Hopefully I didn't sound surprised.
Alex, you always sound surprised to me, Salud. I'm glad that you liked it, Alex.
So good.
Excellent, excellent. That's tough. That's a tough one to choose what's the best on here, because I really enjoyed every single one of them. And thank you for bringing that Cab Franc from Seneca Lake because I found, even though I love all these wines, I found that the most interesting just because, you know,
people don't think of cool weather Cab Franc, and when you try it, it's like if you have a Pinot Noir drinker that's out there that is like, I'm trying to venture on, and I can't go past Pinot Noir. I'm not quite ready for a Cab or a Merlot or a red blend. I think that wine is absolutely fantastic, and anybody that just likes really good wine, that works too.
Yeah, I agree. It was it's really well balanced and not what you're expecting from a Cab Franc.
And thank you for bringing us this Zinfandel, bringing us back into that little world, you know. So
can I ask? I just want to make sure that Steve understood what about the DOC. I just want to make sure I never heard anything.
Oh yeah, no, I think he said.
Oh, Dave. Okay. Now I see it. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that I explained it everything. That I wanted to make sure that it was clear.
Yeah.
Oh
you know.
Karen says these are all quite excellent. We love the Cab Franc. That's good.
Look, if I can turn it tonight, if I could turn everyone on to a Oregon Chard, a Cab Franc from New York, and then we have a Zinfandel, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's amazing because I was really like super looking forward to the Tuscan wines, and you know everything else was excellent. So good job, love it.
Yeah,
thank you, boss.
Thank you.
Home run.
All right,
home run.
All right, guys. I hope everyone's be safe. Enjoy your weekend. I appreciate you.
Oh yeah, I think everyone knows on here we have an event this weekend. Our Mother's Day brunch is happening Saturday, 12 to 3. You can pop in anytime. It's $10. You get a plate of food, and we'll have Daniel from Winebow here mixing wine cocktails. You get one cocktail and a plate of food, and then Pam will be here making jewelry, and I think that's it.
And then you have Sip and Stroll on
Sip and Strolls the following weekend.
May 8th.
I'll be at home chopping down banana trees.
Oh, JD will be here for Sip and Stroll, right?
Oh, you will?
that's
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sip and Stroll.
I don't even know what I was doing there, but I mean, I think that's how out of that. I have no idea.
looks good. Looks good.
Thanks. We'll do it.
8?
Yeah, he's gonna.
Oh,
he's
JD,
gonna-
you'll be here 4 to 8. Nice.
I'll be here the entire time.
Okay, Chardonnay.
Steve, I expect to see you at Sip and Stroll, my friend.
Steve says they like 5, 4, 3, 1, 2. Oh, okay.
All right, I always feel like I am agreeing with Steve.
I'm 4, 2, 5, 3, 1, and only because I disfavor white wines, but that white wine was amazing.
It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Wait, you're 4, 3, 5, 2, 1?
4, 2, 5, 3, 1.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
All
You
right.
don't do too much math.
Hey, Steve, I'll miss you too, but don't worry, I won't be too far.
She's gonna
Yes,
join
Steve,
both.
you're gonna do this remotely. I don't care what they say.
When Kay can get me the wines,
Yeah.
we're gonna try to.
We're planning in advance.
Or I'll just be sitting there with my funky Buddhas.
Again, Sam, happy birthday. Everyone else, thank you for
Sam,
joining
happy
us.
birthday, buddy.
Thank you
Cheers.
guys. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thanks,
Bye,
Katie.
everybody.